Hi, welcome back to the session. I hope you have spent some time to work on your X, and I hope that you have found a area of focus that you can really move the profits and the revenue in your business by focusing on that particular X. So, in this session, we're going to talk about how to fund your business. We're going to talk about cash flow. So, how many of you have actually run out of cash before and had to borrow money to keep the business going? Or maybe you've identified a business opportunity for growth, but due to the lack of funds, you had to forego it. Well, as the saying goes, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. So this is something that many of us have experienced at some point of time of our business, and the feeling is terrible, right? Running out of cash. We might have a growing business with a high revenue, but somehow we cannot do much because the money is sitting in our customer's bank account and not ours. So, welcome to this next key on cash flow and how to fund your own company growth efficiently with healthy cash generation. In this topic, we want to ensure that you have enough cash from the business to make sure you are not affected again by the problems caused by a lack of cash, that the money that is rightfully yours will come to you quicker than your competitors to receive their money. So imagine the cash cycle is your engine. What you want to do is to build an efficient engine to ensure that your plane, which is your business, can fly smoothly and faster than your competitors. And we can achieve this by working on the cash conversion cycle. But before we start, I want to preempt you by sharing with you the two mistakes that business leaders make when it comes to this question of working on our cash conversion cycle. The first one is psychological, and the second one is one of a process. So let's deal with the first obstacle first. Have you heard people make this statement, oh, but the industry is like that? You see, that is the problem with a lot of business leaders. They do not want to challenge the industry norms, or they do not feel that they can do anything differently from others. Now, this is a mistake because once we say that, our minds stop exploring possibilities. Every time I work on this session when I coach my clients and I tell them the first thing I want them to stop saying is to stop saying that the industry is like that. I hear a lot of guilty laughter from the CEO and the management team. It is really because we have been telling ourselves that it's not possible to change, and that's why we don't find new possibilities to do something different. Once I heard some very bad advice from a politician who was giving advice to business leaders. He actually said that if every of your competitor faces the same problem as you, then it is not a problem, you shouldn't worry. Now that's really stupid because that is actually the biggest opportunity for you to do something different from others. And that is what being intentional is about. So if we accept this phrase, oh, but the industry is like that, then we stop looking for a cash flow strategy that will differentiate us from others. Now, the second obstacle is a process one, and that is, do you know what is your cash flow map? Like a journey, you want to know how long it takes. So what we need to know is a detailed map of how long our money takes when it goes out and then comes back to us. Now, this may sound simple, and usually business leaders will tell me, oh, they know it by heart, and then they will rattle off a figure. However, after I get them to actually map it out by breaking their cash flow into phases, the actual number of days is usually at least 30 days more than the estimated cash flow cycle. Minimum at least 30 days from those companies that I work on. Some are as many as 60 days, and some are as many as 9 days more than what they thought. Now, that is really bad. This means that your cash is sitting at least 30 days longer outside of your pocket than you realize. Can you imagine the list of problems that this will cause to your cash flow? So one of my clients had this problem. They thought their cash flow was 180 days, but it turned out to be 230 days. And they realized that if they can cut it down to 180 days, which is what they thought, they will save $2 million every year. That's how much it would cost you. So, to do this, first we need to know what a cash flow cycle looks like. According to Verne Harnish, the author of Scaling Up, the cash conversion cycle can be broken into 4 parts. And the 4 parts are the sales cycle, the make or production or inventory cycle, and then the delivery cycle, and then the billing cycle. These 4 components make up the cash cycle. What we want to do eventually is to have a detailed understanding of each part and then work on shortening it. But before that, let's discuss a well-known case study of a company who drastically shortened their cash cycle. So let's talk about Dell. So as a manufacturer, they face all the problems a company would face with inventory, sales cycle, production time, etc. So they had a cash conversion cycle rate of about 63 days. That means it takes 63 days to sell, produce, deliver, invoice, and then get paid. So they worked on reducing the cash cycle by changing and shortening the processes and then revamping their business practice. So notice they eventually got the cycle down to minus 21 days. This means that they get paid 21 days before they deliver the product. This is significant because it means they have found a way to change their business practice against industry norms. This also means that they have to change their production and inventory processes to support a business model where the customers pay first. It took a total of 10 years, if you look at this chart, to achieve this. So it was not an easy task because essentially they had to do something nobody in the industry did. So just imagine if they had started out saying, oh, but the industry is like that. They would never have achieved a different result. So at this point, let me share with you an example of one of my clients. This is an engineering company that specializes in mechanical works. So they install lifts, elevators, air conditioning, and other electrical related features of a building. So before they understood the concept of the cash conversion cycle, the common practice in the industry is to go for big construction projects. While it is flashy, the revenue takes too long to come in because payment is made in phases and there are usually delays for various reasons. This delay in cash inevitably leads to a heavy bank bridging loans and financing. So they had to relook at the way they did their business. After this exercise, they decided to relook at their strategy. Is there an alternative to what everybody is doing in the industry? Finally, they decided to focus more on maintenance projects over construction projects because after calculating the cash cycle, they realized that maintenance projects are paid upfront at the signing of the contract and thus reduce the cash cycle. Also, because the projects are done on a shorter time frame, they can use the same team to cover many maintenance projects instead of a major construction project. With a shorter delivery cycle, they can run several projects at the same time. All this added up to the same profitability of a construction project because they save time, they save labor costs, they save on financing costs, and they get cash up front. They also don't have to hold large amounts of inventory, which is another heavy cost. So I hope this lesson has helped you to think through your cash model. Now, take this quiz now to see how much you have learned, and then it's time to get your team to work on your business through the tool. Okay? And what I want you to do is to calculate your cash conversion cycle. How many days is that? Let's work on this exercise called the cash flow map and discuss with your team and fill in how many days it takes for each part of the process. Then discuss how many days you can shorten each segment. Remember, this is the crucial part. You need to cut enough days to see a tangible benefit to your company. This is part of developing a cash strategy. So it is intentionally developing a strategy that gives you a benefit over your competitors. So 3 ways you can discuss how to improve each part of the cash cycle. 1. How do you improve processes? Processes within each phase, what are those that you can improve? And in with each phase of the cash cycle, are there mistakes that you think you're currently making, and then you can eliminate these mistakes? And finally, the most important question, and a very powerful one, is can I improve or change my business model like Dell? Now, usually there will be no one method that makes all the difference. All three of these strategies, improving processes, eliminating mistakes, and improving business model, has to be considered at the same time. Keep an open mind and resist falling back to the thinking that the industry is like that and you cannot change. And I hope you find a improvement in your cash flow. Thank you.